Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sigil. In this video, we're talking about Brad. You guys know Brad because Brad is the guy that Trump was on the phone with when he called and said, well, we just need to find the 10,000 votes. And then the Democrat Party tried to sue him for like overturning an election and, all this other bullcrap when there was massive fraud happening in Georgia and everyone can see it. Well, Brad happens to be one of the only, not one of the only ones, but he's one of the main centerpieces in objecting to Georgia, the Fulton County, giving over their voter rolls so we could figure out what happened. And like with the people dropping off thousands of ballots in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So they never showed you the context to that phone call. Did you ever wonder why he used the language, we need to find 10,000 votes? And it's just that language was kind of weird. Well, let's listen to the context of that phone call, which we have here.
Wondering what happened here and how did the president lose Georgia, because it was trending in his direction. We saw it. Check this out.
It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said, there's no way. But they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brad. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently. But regardless of those votes, with all of it being said, we lost by essentially 11,000 votes. Mm-hmm. And we have many more votes already calculated and certified to. So I just don't know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things, but we don't need Dominion or anything else. We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. Having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry. And these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night, along with others that we're going to have by that time, which are much more substantial even. And the people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated, because the 2,236 and absentee ballots, they're all exact numbers that were done by accounting firms, law firms, etc. Mm-hmm. And even if you cut them in half, and cut them in half again, it's more votes than we need.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
6 o'clock, nearly a week after federal agents raided Fulton County's elections hub, we're hearing from Georgia's Secretary of State for the first time.
Channel 2's Richard Elliott is live at the state capitol tonight, where he had a one-on-one conversation with the secretary about federal agents seizing hundreds of boxes of data from the 2020 presidential election.
Brad's nervous.
It is February 2nd. It is Groundhog Day, and you've probably seen the movie where Bill Murray lives that single day over and over again. Well, Brad Raffensperger said this whole thing is kind of like that movie with the Trump administration bringing up the 2020 election over and over again.
It's kind of interesting that it's today's Groundhog Day.
We spoke one-on-one with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger about the FBI raid on the Fulton County Elections Hub and the seizure of 700 boxes of 2020 ballots and voter information. He says it's like the feds are in the movie Groundhog Day, still reliving the 2020 election even after multiple investigations proved there was no voter fraud.
Bro,
he also says he
keeps trying to say that over and over. We've proved this was the most fair election in American history. Just like dumb fucking slogans. Over and over. This is why I'm showing you this, because this piece of shit right here probably is like the main centerpiece in Biden and the Democrats stealing that election. And then look at what resulted from that. Just chaos. We're still paying for that. Actually, it might have broken our country for good, having that fucker in office.
Has no idea what the feds are looking for or why.
We probably know as much as you
he
do,
knows.
because the search warrant that was issued is sealed. And so no details were provided.
Does that look like a man that's not scared to fucking death to you? Because he knows they're about to catch his ass red-handed in this voter fraud.
To us or to the press or to Fulton County.
He knew there was voter fraud, and he pretended he was retarded. which is what Democrats do all the time, which is what these leftist fucking socialists do. Whenever this is bad for them, pretend you're retarded. Pretend you have no fucking clue what's going on.
Tanya Miller condemned the raid, accusing the Trump administration of trying to influence the 2026 midterms.
They would not be doing this if they weren't absolutely afraid that if we have free and fair elections, they'd lose.
Raffensperger.
Hey, again.
Get you out of your mind. You got the lowest approval rating in history. Like, the people have never hated the Democrats more than ever now. Like, I will never trust a word that comes out of one of these leftist mouths ever again. That's how bad it is. And like, these people are fucking nuts, man. They're out of their minds. They can't accept reality. You could show these people proof that the election was stolen right in front of them and they'd still deny it. This other video where the Trump team like literally lays out all the fraud that happened in Fulton County. This is the other guy laying out the facts.
What we are presenting to the court and to you today as the Georgia legislature are facts. Facts. 2,506 felons voted illegally in Georgia. 66,248 underage and therefore ineligible people to illegally register to vote before their 17th birthday, when the law requires 17 and a half years old.
So like literally names that they collected.
2,423 individuals to vote who were not listed as registered. 1,043 individuals to cast ballots who had illegally registered to vote using a post office box. 4,926 individuals voted in Georgia who had registered to vote after their Georgia voter registration date, thereby canceling their Georgia voter registration. 10,315 or more individuals to vote who are deceased by the time of the election. 395
I got to pause on that one. Is that to say they died? 10,000 people died between casting
their... Who knows, man? They were just collecting any name they can get. And then how do we know that, like, the one dude said they seen them take out a stack, stack up a stack, and then put that same exact stack back into the machine? How do we know they didn't double and triple count some of these people? Like, their hate for Trump, you got to understand, their hate for Trump was so bad that they were willing to, like, it didn't matter. They threw the rules out they threw the rule book out the window because they're like, we have to stop Trump, and they did.
Ballot in the election, or they were dead when they cast their ballot. Okay, let's just keep going.
Individuals to vote in Georgia who had cast ballots in another state, which is illegal in both states. 15,700 individuals to vote in Georgia who had filed a national change of address with the United States Postal Service prior to November 3rd, 2020. 40,279 individuals to vote who had moved across county lines at least 30 days prior to Election Day and who had failed to properly re-register to vote in their new county after moving, also in violation of Georgia law.
Even that, man, they're probably not even. That's like the Somali block. That's like, hey, can you get them 1,000 Somalis from Minnesota to come down here and vote real quick? Yeah, this is absurd, man. You cannot run a country like this.
Petition for contest will include affidavits of more than 100 Georgia voters sworn under penalty of perjury, attesting to and confirming multiple violations of the Georgia Election Code. You will hear from several of those witnesses today.
Yeah, and then there's been witnesses, right? That like, this is what they did. So say you have say there's 100,000 people that can possibly vote for with a mail-in ballot. So this is what they do. They print up 300,000. And then it doesn't matter that all 300,000 of them just whittle down and go out the door. Stacks go here and stacks go there. And it's rampant. With the election was stolen, flat out. I mean, there's no way around it.
And then we have the issue of outright lies and potential fraud.
I think we can probably stop it there, not to belabor the point, because we're.
Oh, and by the way, if you don't think old Brad there, wasn't handpicked to take the phone call and basically just deny all of Trump's evidence, you're a fucking idiot. He was handpicked to take the phone call, and no matter what Trump said, his job was to say, no, Mr. Trump, all of your evidence is false, and we're gonna let Biden have it. Like, it's just absolute insanity, man.